Hello YouTube, I'm Dramaticus and this is Wordwise. So today on the show I'm going to be taking a look at a word that is very much related to the holiday this year, and that is festive. So the word festive, in case you don't know, is basically of or relating to a festival or feast. It's cheerful, joyous, jovial, merry, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, it's a happy word. So, the actual etymology. Now, the word itself, of course, is rooted in Latin, like many of our words in English. So, the word itself comes from festivus, which also comes from festum, and that comes from another word, and that comes from... It's actually a festive tree. So, yes, it's basically a tree of words. So, or really a pole, I suppose, one coming from the next and going up, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, the main point of it is that festivus basically is pertaining to a feast. It's jovial, and festum is pertaining to a feast. It all basically pertains to a feast. They eventually decided on festive for whatever reason. I guess they like the sound of it. Personally, I prefer festivus. But the word itself came about in 1650, so the mid-17th century. Now, the word itself was actually unattested, i.e. unwritten, until 1735. That's 85 years later that it didn't get written down until. So for those 85 years, the word festive was around. Nobody just bothered to really write it down for whatever reason. You know, it goes to show how lazy some of us really are. It's like, oh yeah, we'll just use a word, we just never bother to write it. But, I mean, there's many factors that go into written word and whatnot. But anyway, it wasn't written until 1735. Now, when it was written, it was done so by an English poet by the name of William Somerville. And that was done in 1735 in his poem, The Chace. Now, if you want to actually take a read of The Chace, I will provide a link for you down below. But, yeah, so festive hasn't really changed meanings. It's basically changed its form a hell of a lot, though. I mean, it still remained the F and the S sort of sounds, but other than that, it's sort of morphed around a bit. So, yeah, it's taken from Latin, came about in 1650, wasn't written until 1735, and, yeah, that's festive for you. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hope you all have a happy holiday, and whatever you celebrate. I know that some of you probably celebrate Festivus. So, anyway, hope that you have a great one, and I will see you next week.